Welcome back to another episode of Stay at Home Story Time. Today we're going to finish reading our story, The Lorax, which we started yesterday and we read the first half of. Yesterday we met a little boy who traveled to an area that looked like this to meet someone named the Once-ler because he wanted to find out what had happened to the Lorax. There was a mysterious story going around that there was a Lorax one day who got lifted away. And this little boy wants to find out what happened. So far in this story, we met the Once-ler, who, when he was a young person, traveled to this beautiful land that looked just like this. And he started cutting down trees in order to make this thing called a thneed that he sold to people that you could wear, to be warm and cozy and do lots of things. But then he met the Lorax, who warned him that cutting down trees was not okay. But the Once-ler didn't listen, and he continued to cut down trees and build a giant factory. So instead of cutting down one tree at a time, he started cutting down 4 trees at a time. And when we left off yesterday, the Lorax came and told the Once-ler that all of these little Barbaloots who used to live in this beautiful forest were going to have to go find a new place to live because they used to eat the fruit that the Truffula trees made, and they used to rest in the shade that the Truffula trees made when it was warm. But there weren't enough trees left for them to be able to have food and shelter anymore. So the Lorax had to send them away to a new place. But that didn't stop the Once-ler. Let's find out what happens next. I, the Once-ler, meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger. So bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, and I biggered the loads of the thneeds that I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes. With that old nuisance Lorax came back with more grapes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and whiffed. He sneezed, and he snuffed. He snargled and sniffed. Once-ler, he cried with a crofulous croak. Once-ler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor Swanee Swans. Why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing with this smog in their throat. Oh no, look at these poor Swanee Swans. Can they sing their beautiful swan songs with all of this smoke that's coming out of the factory? They look quite sick, actually. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog that you've smogged around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. Let me say a few words about this glubbity-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making glubbity-glup and sloppity-slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Once-ler, you. Ooh, look at all of that goop coming out of the Once-ler's factory. Ooh, let's see where it goes. Where is all of that goo ending up when it comes out of the factory? Yeah, right in that pond where all the fishies live. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all glummed. So I'm sending them off, while their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Uh-oh. What do you think's gonna happen to those fish that gotta be out of water? Luckily, this is a story, so these fish could walk on land for a minute, but if these were real fish, could they just get out of the water to go find a new home? No, if real fish get out of the water, they die. And if their water gets dirty and polluted, they also die. And then I, the Once-ler, got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say blah, blah, blah. Bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more Truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. Does the Once-ler sound like he cares about all of the animals that live in his environment or just about himself? Yeah, I think he cares just about himself and felling thneeds. Even if people will buy his thneeds and he thinks that people need them, does that mean he should sell them if it's hurting the environment around him? No way. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last Truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into their cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. He cut down every single Truffula tree. The Lorax said nothing. Just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. There he goes. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. What do you think? What do you think the Lorax meant by leaving the word unless? That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it. With all of my heart. Do you think he should have waited till he cut down the last tree to start worrying? Probably not. But now, says the Once-ler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is gonna get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Once-ler. He let something fall. It's a Truffula tree seed, the last one of all. You are in charge of the last Truffula seed. And Truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new tree and treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest. Protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end. So, what did the Once-ler ask the little boy to do at the end of the story? He gave him the last Truffula seed and said, grow a forest and don't let someone like me come in and ruin it. Because can trees speak for themselves? Can animals speak for themselves? Can our planet Earth speak for itself? We need things from the earth in order to survive. Humans need food and water and shelter, the same way that animals do. But there's a limit to how much the earth can give us if we don't give back to it. And one day, what if we cut down so many trees that there aren't any left? Then what would happen to the earth? So this week, in honor of Earth Day, I want you to think, what is one thing that you can do to help protect the planet Earth? Until next time!